Balancing your cortisol levels is one of the fastest, most effective ways to lower stress, boost energy, and finally feel normal again. Elevated cortisol doesn't just leave you wired and exhausted. It can disrupt sleep, spike anxiety, and keep your body in stress mode all day long. As a nutritionist who's helped hundreds of high-achieving women balance their hormones, I've seen firsthand how one simple trick helps women lower their stress, feel lighter, and feel like themselves again. In this video, I'll show you exactly what the trick is and how to start using it today so you can reset your nervous system and get your life back. To start, let me show you the real reason your cortisol stays stuck on high and why most women never manage to fix it. Most women think that their cortisol is high because they're stressed, but the real issue runs deeper. So even after a full night's sleep, you wake up groggy, head straight for coffee, and by 2 p.m., you crash hard. Then, when you're ready to go to bed, your brain switches on and you're tossing and churning at 3 a.m. That's what happens when your cortisol peaks at the wrong times. High when it should be low, and low when you need it to be steady. But when that rhythm finally gets back on track, mornings feel steady. You skip that afternoon crash, and suddenly getting through the evening feels easy. Plus, you sleep deeper, so you can actually wake up feeling human again. And that's where the trick comes in. Let me show you the simple trick that trains your cortisol to rise and fall when it's supposed to. It's called carb cycling for cortisol control. Now, don't worry, this isn't a diet and you're not cutting carbs. You're just shifting when you eat most of them to match your natural cortisol rhythm. I've had one client who added this in slowly, just shifting how many carbs she ate throughout the day. Within a week, she wasn't waking up in the middle of the night. She felt calm when she went to bed and actually rested when she woke up. But how does this actually work? So why does shifting your carbs change how you handle stress? Let's break down the biology. So most women have been told that eating carbs late at night is bad. And yeah, that could be true for weight loss, but your hormones have to be balanced. Because if you're burned out and wired all night, it actually works the opposite. Eating more carbs later in the day often works better. Here's why. Your cortisol is supposed to be highest in the morning so you could wake up and function. Then it should slowly come down as the day goes on. But when you eat lots of carbs early in the day, especially without enough protein, your blood sugar rises too fast. So cortisol jumps in to control that spike. That triggers energy crashes and cravings during the day and keeps you feeling wired when you're trying to rest at night. In fact, a 2011 study published in Obesity found that eating more carbohydrates at night actually lowered cortisol levels and improved sleep in people with metabolic issues. When you slowly increase carbs as the day goes on, especially at night, cortisol does not have to keep reacting. It can finally come down. And when cortisol drops, your body gets the signal that it's safe. That is what allows you to fall asleep and stay asleep. It's not that carbs knock out your cortisol, but they help your body realize that it's finally safe to rest. When I switched to eating most of my carbs at dinner, I finally stopped waking up at 3 a.m. It was the first time in a long time that I actually felt rested when I woke up. So if you're sick of dragging through your morning feeling like a zombie, this can make a difference fast. Now, most women mess this part up, but when you do it right, that's when cortisol finally starts to regulate on its own. So here's how to actually use this step by step. So if carbs help guide cortisol back into rhythm, you need to know exactly when and how to use them. Let's start with breakfast. You want to keep it mostly low carb to start your day. So start your day with protein, some healthy fats, and a small portion of fruit. This will support your natural cortisol rise without sending blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. By lunch, your body's primed for more carbs. This is when you could start adding in some slow digesting carbs with your protein, like quinoa, beans, or root vegetables. Just enough to keep your energy steady without triggering that 3 p.m. crash. And at dinner is when you'll want to go higher carb, things like potatoes, lentils, or rice. Now, this is where the real shift happens, because when you raise carbs at night, cortisol drops and melatonin starts rising. That's what tells your nervous system, I'm safe now. And by the way, if you want help customizing this, that's all inside my free guide, which you can download in the description. So here's the thing, knowing how to actually use carb cycling day to day without crashing or gaining weight is where most women get stuck. So watch this next video right here. It's where I walk you through exactly how I use carb cycling to lower my cortisol, sleep throughout the night, and recover from that wired but tired loop. Check that out now, and I'll see you there.